We want to talk about the Bucs and Liam Coen specifically because they just became the first team all season long to put 40 on the Los Angeles Chargers. Only the second team all season long to put 30, joining the Baltimore Ravens. This is an offense now that's top 5 in the NFL in like everything. Even if on paper, it's like usually top 5 offenses are reserved for top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. That's why those guys get paid a lot. But Baker Mayfield, I got Bucs fans on Twitter. I go and watch John Ledger's breakdowns of Mayfield, and he's unhappy with it. They're like Bucs fans who like legitimately don't think Mayfield's even playing that well. And now I think he goes a little overboard with it. And in this game, I thought he was pretty awesome. But there are some fair points that he makes. But it goes back to the fact that Liam Coen is putting together a masterclass in scheming up talent there. You see him in the screen game every single week. So after this big win, and after the fact that they've pretty much grabbed a stranglehold now on the NFC South and look destined to be the victor of it, and could even get the 3 seed now in the NFC playoff picture, passing whoever wins the West. Where does he rank among your head coaching candidates this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the Liam Coen stuff, I feel like all year, talking about the Bucs going into this year with Dave Canales going to Carolina, people thinking, oh man, Dave Canales is one of the only reasons Baker Mayfield was able to find it last year. Liam Coen coming in as the offensive coordinator. I think this team was doubted. I think their win total going into the year was 5.5. Now they might just win the NFC South outright. Like this is a playoff team. And it's because the offense has survived the transition, not just survived the transition from Dave Canales to Liam Coen. It's also survived a lot of injuries this year.
Thrived the transition.
It's like thrived through it. It's arguably better. Liam Coen, like you said, top 5 in any metric you look at offensively, EPA per drive, success rate, points per drive. And that's with Chris Godwin, who to start the year, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, I think was having one of the, if not the best seasons of his career. The dude was looked fully healthy for the first time in a long time. And I think if he was able to finish the season fully healthy, we'd be talking about this Bucs offense even more. But Mike Evans even missed 4 games. Tristan Wirfs, I think, has missed time. They haven't been able to figure out the backfield in terms of who's the more talented guy. Both have also missed time for injury. And still, like every single week, Liam Coen in this offense is finding easy. Remember Kate Otten? Like Kate Otten.
Just going for casual,
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin go out, and it's the first game without them. And I remember having some Kate Otten overs and everyone talking about Otten that week. And I was like, the defense has to know Kate Otten's going to be the guy. And Coen's still finding ways to get him wide open. Like, I think that I always say easy buttons. When you see offense coordinators that are able to find easy buttons in the NFL, which is very hard to do against the defenses that people see with Baker Mayfield, with injuries to Godwin and Evans at points this year. Like, I think Coen has proven enough that he's probably 3rd in my rankings. I like Ben Johnson 1, Mike Vrabel 2. And I'd probably put Liam Coen 3. Like, what we know in the NFL is the biggest cheat code is having a head coach that calls offensive plays with consistency and can create easy buttons for any quarterback. If he can do it for Baker Mayfield, you're telling me the Jags wouldn't want to swing of the bat at Liam Coen if they can't get Ben Johnson. You're telling me the Bears wouldn't want to swing of the bat. Like, one of these teams that has a good quarterback or thinks that they have a good quarterback, I think they're going to be chomping at the bit to bring Liam in.
I think him and Ben Johnson are comfortably 1-2 if you want an offensive guy. I think you put Joe Brady, Todd Monken in that mix too, but they're comfortably behind those two. And I just look at what they do in the running game. And now you mentioned that they haven't figured out the guy who's more talented. I think it's pretty evident that it's Bucky Irving.
It's obvious that's Bucky Irving, but I still find myself confused by how much Rachaad White is used.
He does get a lot of play, but he also can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he had a receiving touchdown in this one. So that's a positive that he brings to the table. He's not like a disaster of a running back, but his vision's terrible. The night and day between Irving and White in terms of vision. But he took an offense last year that was 6th worst in the NFL in rushing yards, EPA. 6th best in the NFL this year. Like, they have transformed it. And now, obviously, some of that's adding a guy like Bucky Irving, who I think is an upgrade. But we've said it. I mean, we used to work at PFF. We will tell you that scheme and talent up front is the driver of a running game. And to get to that level, 6th best in the NFL, it's not just one back named Bucky Irving. Sounds like anyone's putting Bucky Irving as top 6 running back in the NFL. So, yeah, I've been very impressed with Liam Coen. If I had to rank my top head coaches, I would put Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Brian Flores ahead of him.
Yeah.
And truly, I think any of those 4, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Brian Flores, Liam Coen, I guess
where I sit there is I'd rather give Liam Coen his first opportunity as a head coach than Brian Flores his second. Because I don't know. I think with head coaches every year, if they've never head coached
is your quarterback a mental midget?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that if you're giving a head coach a first-year head coach opportunity, you have to almost say out loud, "We have no idea how this is going to go," because like your role completely changes. Talking to Eric Eager, director of analytics for the Carolina Panthers, he talks a lot about like how like all the different coaches, not specifically in Carolina, but just stuff that he's learned about the league. It's just that like when you're a head coach, your job is to manage coaches. Tomlin, I think, had that quote where he's like, I don't coach players, I coach coaches. Like I'm trying to get coaches better. When Liam Coen goes from, I just have to call a good offense, fight through these injuries, lean into Bucky Irvin when I need to, lean into Mike Evans when I need to. Today had a crazy game. Mike Evans continues to impress. I feel like it's a different job than having to manage other coaches, hire other coaches. Now he's got an interesting tree. He coached with Sean McVay and Zach Robinson in Los Angeles. He went back to the college game and actually coached up Will Levis in his senior season at Kentucky. Like he's sampled a couple places. I think that's why his offense. Yeah, junior season. I think that's why his offense feels. I don't know. I think that's why his offense feels like kind of multiple and like and can solve problems multiple ways. Like I like Liam Coen a lot. I think that here's the question: if you're the Bucs and Liam Cohen's going to get a head coaching job somewhere else, they're going to offer him, let's say, $10 million a year. If you're the Bucs, give me a reason why you wouldn't demote Todd Bowles to DC and move Liam Coen up. Like, why not? If Liam Cohen's just going to walk out the door, right? Because that's what's going to happen this offseason if things go like as expected. He's going to walk out the door. He's going to go to Chicago. He's going to go to Jacksonville. And Tampa Bay's going to be stuck with Todd Bowles and what? Like, I worry that Canales going and Liam Coen going because what? Todd Bowles is there? I don't know. That worries me.
Dude, because I talked about this at the time. He was, Todd Bowles, in my opinion, wholly responsible for those 2 losses to the Atlanta Falcons. They were solely on Todd Bowles. Their defensive game plan. And I think you saw it with Kirk Cousins in the rest of his season. That's like those 2 games were so much of an aberration and outlier. It's like, I don't know how you can blame anyone else for it. So their defense has been, bottom 10 to 11 in the NFL this season. Whereas their offense has been top 5. It's like, which one do I want to keep? And now, from a purely talent perspective, like that's a talented defense. That is not a defense that should be that bad. Like they should be getting better results.
They've been injured, but they're very
banged up. But still, if you're just ranking OC performances around the NFL versus DC performances around the NFL, they are in opposite realms this year. And now, obviously, Bowles was your DC for a Super Bowl, and that's tough. And I don't think they will, right? I think it'd be very far-fetched if they would. But, well, I've seen enough of Liam Coen, man, to know that,
yes,
I want that guy in the building. I'm going to do what it takes to keep that guy in the building.
The only reason that we're not talking about it is because it's unprecedented. No one like demotes their head coach to defense coordinator and then moves the offense coordinator up. No one's done that. I at least to my knowledge, if someone has, please link me to the article. I can't think of a time where a head coach has been demoted to defensive coordinator on the same football team and then promoted the offensive play caller to head coach. I can't think of it. That's the only reason we're not talking about this though, because if you're a Bucs fan or you're a Bucs player, or you're in the Bucs front office, tell me right now who's more valuable to this football team, Todd Bowles or Liam Coen? And if the only reason you're going to let Liam Coen walk is because the thing that would require you to change that has never been done before, I don't know. I think Tampa Bay might have to think of something else here. Maybe it's that decision is easier if they don't win a playoff game. Say they make the playoffs, but they don't win a playoff game. The defense gives up 30, 40.
That will make it easier.
That could make it easier, but I guess I hope that decision is made easier because I want that for Baker.
Did the Chargers do that in the mid-2000s?
Oh man!
I remember when they went from
the deep cut.
This was so they had when after the year they went 14-2, they fired their head coach to hire Norv Turner, who was the OC. I'm pretty sure someone's got to. I'm gonna need Harry to look that one up for us. But I think that might have been. the lone time I can even think of something like that happening.